Barrett Street. Here's a question. Does your love language actually matter? Maybe there should be more than just 5 love languages. Well, that is according to a new paper published in the journal Current Directions in Psychological Science. If you're not familiar with the love language concept, it basically identifies the 5 love languages, how we give and how we receive love. Physical touch, words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, and acts of service. And some studies now suggest aligning with your partner's love language can actually lead to increased satisfaction and intimacy in your relationships. So joining us this morning to talk more about this is psychotherapist Dr. Robi Ludwig. Dr. Ludwig, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You know, if you mention the 5 love languages, most people know what you're talking about. Tell us more about the psychological basis for the 5 love languages and how they affect our relationships.
So the idea behind this book is that everyone is slightly different in relationships and that we all have individualistic needs, but they fall into categories. So this book tried to clearly identify what category you might be in or your partner might be in order to treat them in a way that resonates so that they could feel loved in the right way, and also so you can help your partner love you in the right way. And it was immensely popular. It's a very almost simplistic idea, so people could really wrap their minds around this concept and enjoy trying to address it within their relationships.
Well, and it's also based around acts of service as well, serving someone else's needs before your own, putting others before ourselves. And love languages are embraced, as you said, as a way to enhance our personal and our interpersonal relationships, also our romantic relationships. And there are 5 love languages. What is it about these methods that actually helps us communicate our needs most effectively?
Well, there were clear categories. So we had words of affirmation, quality time, physical touch, acts of service, and receiving gifts. And it was identified in these categories that people could easily relate to, and there was no shaming in terms of attaching oneself to one of these love language styles. And I think it really helped people to understand more about themselves. Oh, I'm an acts of service person. Oh, I'm a physical touch person. And it was easy to kind of think about, how can I be thoughtful to my partner? How can I help my partner help me to be seen as a person in this relationship? So I think it was very clever. It's clear. And people were enjoying identifying themselves and their partners in this way in order to make their relationship feel more fulfilling and rewarding.
Yeah, and based on the conversations, people still are enjoying that immensely. The research we understand is a bit limited in terms of the psychological effects. Are there any downsides that you would see to looking at love based through these 5 languages? We brought up the question earlier, should there be more than 5? I'm curious.
Yeah, I mean, this book was written a long time ago, and, if someone were to take this book in a concrete way and say, oh my gosh, I don't see myself in this list, maybe there's something wrong with me. Or let's say someone identifies with multiple love languages, could or would that be used against a person? And so I think it's really important to just keep an open mind. If this tool works for you, great. But there are a lot of different aspects that go into a successful marriage. First of all, do you want to be in a partnership? Do you understand that every day isn't going to be lollipops and rainbows? Are you committed to get through the tough times? How is your fighting style? Are you able to forgive quickly and get to the bottom of what the two of you need to work on? Do you see it as a you against me type of dynamic instead of we're in the same boat and we need to work and collaborate together? So while these tools of love languages are fun and interesting, of course, if you're looking about a relationship, it's all about, can you grow together, and are you willing to be thoughtful and think about another person other than yourself? Are you willing to be empathic and consider your partner's perspectives?
Those are great questions, because we all know relationships are not easy, especially if you're committed to making them work in a healthy way. So that's perhaps where we need to get more counseling. Dr. Robi Ludwig, thank you so much. This is a great platform, love language, to at least start from. We appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.